Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatan Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakamritamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Pisabano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasad Bhutale Srimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Tinamene Prabhupada Chaitanya Prabhupada Saranga Vishal Gopate Maha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Sarasvati Devim Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So today's sloka, is it the last verse? Last verse of the 8th chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, as it is, attaining the Supreme. Vedeshu, Yajneshu, Tapashu, Chaiva, Daneshu, Yat, Punyapalam, Pradishtam, Atyeti, Tat Sarvam Idam Viditva Yogi Param Sthanam Upaiti Chaityam. Excuse me. Vedesu yajnesu tapasu chaiva Danesu yat punya palam pradishtam Atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Vedesu yajnesu tapasu chaiva Danesu yat punya palang pradishtam Atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Vedesu yajnesu tapasu chaiva Danesu yat punya palang pradishtam Atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam upayati chadyam. Somebody else? Danesu yat punya palam padishtam atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam upayati chadyam. Vedesu yagyesu tapasu chaiva Danesu yat punya palam pradishtam Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upayati chadyam. Vedesu yagyesu tapasu chaiva Danesu yat punya palam pradishtam Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upayati chadyam. Matajis?
Vedesu yagnesu tapaisu sarva Danesu yat punya palam padishtam
Danesu yat punya palam padishtam
Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva
Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva
yogi param sthanam upayati chadyam.
yogi param sthanam upayati chadyam. Vedesu yagnesu tapasu chaiva Danesu yat punya palam padishtam Atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam upayati chadyam. Vedesu yagnesu tapasu chaiva Danesu yat punya palam padishtam Atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam upayati chadyam. Vedesu, in the study of the Vedas. Yagyesu, in the performances of yagya, sacrifice. Tapashu, in undergoing different types of austerities. Cha, also. Eva, certainly. Daneshu, in giving charities. Yat, that which. Punyapalam, result of pious work. Pradishtam, indicated. Atyeti, surpasses. Tat sarvam, all those. Idam, this. Viditva, knowing. Yogi, the devotee. Param, supreme. Sthanam, abode. Upayati, achieves. Cha, also. Adyam, original. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this, and at the end he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Purport. This verse is the summation of the 7th and 8th chapters, which particularly deal with Krishna consciousness and devotional service. One has to study the Vedas under the guidance of the spiritual master and undergo many austerities and penances while living under his care. A brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master just like a servant, and he must beg alms from door to door and bring them to the spiritual master. He takes food only under the master's order, and if the master neglects to call the student for food that day, the student fasts. These are some of the Vedic principles for observing brahmacharya. After the student studies the Vedas under the master for some time, at least from age 5 to 20, he becomes a man of perfect character. Study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation of armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. After this training, the brahmachari is allowed to enter into household life and marry. When he is a householder, he has to perform many sacrifices so that he may achieve further enlightenment. He must also give charity according to the country, time, and candidate, discriminating among charity in goodness, in passion, and in ignorance as described in Bhagavad Gita. Then after retiring from household life, upon accepting the order of Vanaprastha, he undergoes severe penances, living in forest, dressing with tree bark and not shaving, etc. By carrying out the orders of brahmacharya, householder life, Vanaprastha, and finally sannyas, one becomes elevated to the perfectional stage of life. Some are then elevated to the heavenly kingdoms, and when they become even more advanced, they are liberated in the spiritual sky, either in the impersonal Brahmajyoti or in the Vaikuntha planets or Krishna Loka. This is the path outlined by Vedic literatures. The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of the different orders of life. The words idham viditva indicate that one should understand the instructions given by Sri Krishna in this chapter and the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. One should try to understand these chapters not by scholarship or mental speculation, but by hearing them in association with devotees. Chapters 7 through 12 are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 and the last 6 chapters are like coverings for the middle 6 chapters, which are specially protected by the Lord. If one is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, especially these middle 6 chapters, in the association of devotees, then his life at once becomes glorified beyond all penances, sacrifices, charities, speculations, etc. For one can achieve all the results of these activities simply by Krishna consciousness. One who has a little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, because in the beginning of the 4th chapter, it is stated clearly that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees. No one else can perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, not from mental speculators. This is a sign of faith. When one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets a devotee's association, one actually begins to study and understand Bhagavad Gita. By advancement in the association of the devotee, one is placed in devotional service, and this service dispels all one's misgivings about Krishna or God and Krishna's activities, form, pastimes, name, and other features. After these misgivings have been perfectly cleared away, one becomes fixed in one's study. Then one relishes the study of Bhagavad Gita and attains the state of feeling always Krishna conscious. In the advanced stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. This highest perfectional stage of life enables the devotee to fully transferred or to be transferred to Krishna's abode in the spiritual sky, Goloka Vrindavan, where the devotee becomes eternally happy. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of attaining the Supreme. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Vedesu yagyesu tapaso chaiva danesu yat punya palang padishtam atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param stanam upaiti charyam. Nice verse to end the 8th chapter. So who accepts the path of devotional service? Not the mental speculators, only devotees. It says that anyone who surrenders unto Krishna, he must have done all of these different tapasya, must have undergone all of austerities, must have went to all the different holy places, must have given everything to charities, and therefore he come to the conclusion that surrender unto Krishna only is the final goal of life. In this way one will attain the Supreme. In the Vedic culture, the process of education is given utmost importance. This is so because one needs to be trained up right from the early stage of one's life. In the Vedic culture, there's what you call Gurukul. Gurukul, the two words, Guru and Kula. Guru means teacher, spiritual master, and Kula means a place, domicile, or home. So Gurukula means a place where the spiritual master resides. This Guru word means teacher. So one who wants to go back home, back to Godhead, he needs a teacher or spiritual master. And in India, anyone who teaches you knowledge pertaining either to Vedic education or arts or technology or in the school, normal teacher is called Guru. In the Philippines also, we use the name Guru or Guru. It's also called teacher. You want to learn music, you go to a Guru because he knows the science of music. If you want to learn or understand subject matter which pertains about spiritual world, the absolute truth, the nature of the soul, who is God, what is our relationship with Him, one needs to approach a bona fide spiritual master, as enjoined here, says in the chapter, 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. That tadvidhi pranipatena sevaya verse. So, in the Vedas, this is a must. That one must approach a bona fide spiritual master in order for one to completely become, not have anything to do with material world. If you want to go back to the spiritual world, then you need a spiritual master. And so the spiritual master has a school, it's called Guru Kul, where the child, whether you're a son of a king or you're a son of a pauper, everyone goes to the Gurukul, but only boys. At the age of 5 especially, because that is the best time where to start the education. Mainly the education entails how one can develop one's good moral character, values, cultivate one's values, and ultimately to become a perfect person. Unlike today's modern education, contrary, they don't teach you that. They just want you to have a big salary in the end, economically be prosperous, and they want you to become specialized to something, which when you become specialized to something, then others who are not capable of becoming specialized to some kind of department, then they turn to become unemployed. That's why there's so many unemployment nowadays. Even university graduates, they turn up to become taxi drivers only. You have to be specialized. But in the Gurukul, the student, he will be cultivated in such a way that the qualities, the inner qualities, good qualities that one has, not naturally for everyone, will come out. And the teacher is very expert in doing this. He's able to get the best from the student. They all live in the Gurukul from age 5 to age 20 or age 25. And before the student graduated, then he knows practically. He'll be able to manage his life. Well, he has a choice. He can remain as a brahmachari. Brahmachari means one who knows Brahman and who is celibate, who does not have contact with the opposite sex. That's why when one is celibate, then he becomes a very strong personality in determination, and especially knowledge. The brain tissues of a celibate person is so refined that he can easily understand subject matter about the Supreme Absolute Truth. You need special mercy to have this memory from the Supreme Lord Himself by being celibate all life. So the spiritual master cultivate all of this from a prospective student. If he wants to remain celibate for the rest of his life, then he can remain. Or if he wants to get married, then he'll ask permission. In the Gurukul, the teachers, they don't get paid. The Brahmanas, they don't earn salaries. There's no such thing as per month, few thousand rupees per month. There's no such thing as tuition fee. They don't need to pay. Only in the end of the school, or when you graduate, then whatever amount, if you have any, that you'll be able to give as a gift or dakshina to the teacher, then it is acceptable. If you have nothing, then you don't have anything. If you are a son of a king, then you'll be able to give so much. And the brahmanas or the teachers, they don't keep them. They will use them. They will utilize them also for their let's say if they have a family, then to continue on to cultivate. Like in those days, they have land, so they will provide whatever dakshina they have to continue on the agrarian facilities that's been given by the Supreme Lord. Till the land and graze the cows, protect the cows, and so on. But there is a speciality in this Gurukul because the spiritual master, by his example, is able to teach the students. The students, they follow the teacher because they can see by his example how he's following. They walk their talk. What they say, they practice. Unlike nowadays, see, this is how they teach, by example. Nowadays, the teaching is through monitoring only. They monitor. They say something, they do different thing. Only in the classroom, theoretically, they are very expert, but when it comes to practical lifestyle, their lifestyle is upside down. Completely. You cannot follow in their footsteps. Because if you do, then you go to hell. Unlike in the Gurukul, the teachers, they just by their example, they'll be able to show their students how to lead ultimately a perfect way of life. The spiritual master is like this. He will say, I don't have any qualification. Whatever I have is due to what I received from my spiritual master. So they will follow, the students will follow that. The spiritual master, he does not take any credits for himself. Whatever they have, they will say, this is due to the mercy of my Guru Maharaj also, my spiritual master. For me, I am nothing. I'm completely unqualified. I only became qualified because of my obedience to my Guru Maharaj, to my spiritual master. So in this way, they teach the students that the students also become obedient to the spiritual master or to their teacher, so that because they want to progress in spiritual life. And he says here, Brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master just like a servant. He must beg alms from door to door. Yeah, they learn these different qualities, especially that humility, tolerance, austerity, sacrifice, only because they love their spiritual master. They love their teacher. This is the bondage that's being developed between the two, the love. They will do anything and everything for their teacher because they love. They're developing their love towards the teacher. That's why in the end, it says here, in the advanced stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. Have you been in love before? Real love, not superficial love. This is real love, developing one's love towards Krishna. When one falls completely, in the advanced stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. Before we develop that, we have to develop our love towards his representative. There's no such thing as I love Krishna, but then I don't love his devotees. It doesn't make sense, isn't it? You love my dog first. Love my dog, then you love me. As Prabhupada says, we're all dogs. We're all dogs of Krishna. That's why we have these collars. So, a brahmachari learning how to love, develop his love towards the spiritual master by being disciplined. He accepted that actually I need to be disciplined. If I'm not going to be disciplined, if I'm not going to obey my spiritual master, then I will not go anywhere. There's no way. And because the spiritual master is very humble, actually Srila Prabhupada says that also. Actually, you are all my spiritual masters. He told this to his disciples. He didn't of course, he considered them as their students, boys and girls. He always say like that, my dear boys and girls, like the father. Because his spiritual master, his relationship towards the disciple is that of a father to a son, or a father to a child. And our relationship with the spiritual master is eternal. It's not temporary. It's real. That is a real relationship. Because our relationship with the spiritual master is not like of our relationship with Krishna. Because he is the external manifestation of the Supreme Lord. That what is our relationship with Krishna? We're all children of Krishna. Krishna is our ultimate father. Aham bija pradapita. So as being representative of the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master is the father. Our material father, our relationship with him is not eternal. It's ephemeral and temporary. So the spiritual master is very humble. Out of humility, because the students were sent by Krishna himself. And when they develop, because by teaching the students, the teacher also, the spiritual master learned from the students. When the students start to learn how to develop their love towards Krishna, then the spiritual master are able to see his reflection. You know what? The teacher wants his students to be more greater than him. And when he sees that the student is making so much advancement, his happiness knows no bound. Unlimitedly, he's so happy. And Krishna is like this. When he sees that we're making advancement, Krishna is so much happy. Much more happier than we are. We're already happy, but Krishna is multiplied much more. It's like, you know, the competition between the gopis and Krishna. When Krishna sees the gopis, Krishna becomes happy. Or when the gopis see Krishna's happiness, then the gopis' happiness increases more than Krishna. So who is more happier, Krishna or the gopis? No, both. The gopis. So the devotees are like this, the spiritual master is like this. The students, when they see their teacher, become so happy because by me following the instructions of my Guru Maharaj, then he becomes so happy, so much happy. He sees the Guru happy, but the students are more happier than the Guru. And then when the Guru sees the students become happy because they're following his instruction, the Guru also become happy. But then there's a competition again. Who's happier? Is the students or the Guru? The students, of course, because they want to continue on their service. But it says here, if the spiritual master neglects to call the students for food that day, the student fasts. That will not happen. But this is only to say that the spiritual master never neglects the teacher. The teacher never neglects the student, because his always concern is for the welfare of the student. The Guru's always in mind is, how can I help my student to advance in Krishna consciousness? Even if he is not able to see him personally, even if he's very far away on the other side of the world, don't think that your Guru is not thinking of you. Don't think that Prabhupada is not thinking of us right now. He's not with us physically. He is thinking of us more than he was present. Because we can fall into Maya easily. Prabhupada says, don't make me come back for you. It says that when the spiritual master accepts the disciple, because the disciple takes shelter, the spiritual master will never neglect his student, his disciple. No way. Only if he stopped following his instructions. But still, when he starts following again, he's always ready, open arms, please. You're with me. I'm not gonna go anywhere without you. This is Guru. That's why we cannot understand this spiritual master. Not possible. We cannot understand Krishna. We cannot understand Radharani. We cannot understand Lord Shiva. And we cannot understand Guru. That's because of their love towards the subjects, towards the disciples, towards everyone. They only have the same purpose, to get us out of this material world. The Guru is like this, but so he will never neglect. That's what it says here. If he neglects to call the student, this is how the student is so obedient that if the spiritual master will not call him, the student will not do anything. And he is willing to take the sacrifice if the Guru will not call him. He's willing to fast because my Guru is not calling me, but that will not happen also. This is only to say that how disciplined the student is, the brahmachari is. How determined he is that without me being called by Guru Maharaj, whatever he says, I will do. If he doesn't tell me anything, I will not do it. So after the student studies, he has a choice. He can go becoming a brahmachari continuously, and then later on he'll take sannyas, or he will ask the permission from the spiritual master. With your permission, I would like to go back to my family, my parents, and get married. As we mentioned earlier, the girls usually they don't go to the Gurukul. That doesn't mean they're not being educated. They're being educated with their parents. But the education of the girls is separate, different from the boys. They learn how to become ideal housewives. They learn different arts as well. They learn the cooking, the art of cooking, how to clean the house, how to take care of children later on, because the way they're being taken care of by their parents is the same way that they will take care of their children later on. They learn that art. Usually the girls will get married just after their puberty. Turn into puberty, then they get married. Or sometimes even earlier. And the arrangement is that, oh, I like that girl, I want to marry her. Or the girl will say, I like that boy, I want to marry him. That's not the way it's been arranged in the Vedic culture. Not like these days. What you call crush. I got a crush on that lady or that boy, something. Then they meet each other on Facebook or something. They'll meet on Facebook or something. No. The arrangement is that the parents themselves will make the arrangement. And they just have to accept, the boy and the girl will just have to accept that, yes, that is my future wife, that is my future husband. The boy will go to the house of the girl, parents of the girl's house. But there is no contact. But they know that this is my future wife and this is my future husband. That ultimately when they get married, the bondage is so strong, there is no divorce. There is no divorce. Unlike nowadays, they don't even want to get married because they know what's going to happen next. Separation, right? In Las Vegas, you know, you go to Las Vegas, they have a 24-hour marriage license department. You know, you can go there and you can get married within a few seconds, and because you're intoxicated and drunk, and then you say, whoa, what is this? That was a mistake. Okay, let's go to a divorce department the next day. And they divorce immediately. Because, you know, they don't know what happened last night, right? And they just got, you know, become a little awake the next day. Oh, something is wrong here. It says in the Kali Yuga, marriage is only in papers only. It says in the Bhagavatam. And not in the Vedic culture. Not possible like that. Till death do us part. But there's also what you call Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha stage, a retired life. Retired life when the husband and wife will go to different places of holy places, tirthas, and their main purpose is to start the day when they will completely renounce. In Vedic culture, sannyas is compulsory. Not necessarily that one takes this cloth. Yes. Yes. The sannyas is especially for those who are ultimately wants to get out of this material world. Only in the end one can do that. Later part of his life, when one is completely in this advanced age, usually like 65 years old. But Prabhupada gave sannyas to many young disciples, even in their 20s, because of preaching. Because of preaching, he took the risk. He knew they may not be able to uphold that ashram. So when the Vanaprastha means, you know, the families, like the children, they're all grown up already. some of them already get married, and then ultimately they'll be separated, the husband and wife, and the wife will be taken care of by the grown-up children. Because the girls or women are all needs to be protected throughout their life. In the early stage by their parents, when they get married by the husband, and later on in vanaprastha or sannyas life of the men, the woman or the wife will be taken care of by the grown-up children. This is how the Vedic culture is. So, in any case, the beauty of Krishna consciousness is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of the different orders of life. Krishna consciousness is like this. One stroke, everything is accomplished. Nowadays we have a lot of devotees in their vanaprastha stage also. Especially Prabhupada's disciples. But we've seen some of them setting examples. They're taking into sannyas as well, because they know that they have to do it, and they do it with the permission of their families also. They do it in. But if one is Krishna conscious, Prabhupada says, I want all of you to become sannyas, even the woman, in spirit. Because sannyas means renouncing those things which is unnecessary. Using everything for the service of Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada mentions here that the beauty of Krishna consciousness is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of the different orders of life. So we need a little bit of faith in this process. We've heard that also before. Bhagavad Gita needs faith. We need faith how to need to understand this. But especially we can understand this not scholarly. Atasi Krishnamadina babed graham indriyai sivan mukhi jivado swayam evas puradiyada. We cannot understand the nature of the Supreme through our blunt senses. It is only by engaging ourselves in devotional service, which starts from the tongue. Sevan mukhi jivado, the tongue. That's why the tongue's main function is to vibrate and to taste prasad. And especially when we hear this vibration of the Supreme Absolute Truth from a self-realized soul, spiritual master, sages, holy men, sadhus, then it can have impact on our hearts, not on our intellect. Modern education, is like they try to impress you how intelligent they are intellectually, knowledgeable they are intellectually. But even a person who is not scholarly, intelligent, but if his heart is pure, just by saying few words, they can captivate your heart to also become pure. Prabhupada's language is very simple for common men like us, but he captured us. And when he speaks to the scholars, he speaks in their language also. But especially for those who are mental speculators, they can speak in word jugglery. Oh yes, he speaks so nicely, but I cannot understand what he spoke. But he's very nice to the ears. I like him. He's very intelligent, but I cannot understand what he's talking about. But he's very intelligent, I think so. Modern educators are like that. Academicians are like that. That's why they change their books every year. 110th revised edition. You go to school, is it like that? Every year they have a different text. Last year text is finished. You have to see, you cannot use that anymore. Whoever is going to study this year, they cannot use those anymore. It's not acceptable anymore. It's like they changed. They revised. That is the kind of knowledge they have. But our knowledge is eternal. So even just like personalities like Gorkasor Das Babaji Maharaj is considered as illiterate. He does not know so many things regarding to what you call quoting slokas and all these things. But he always carried two books with him, Prema Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana by Narottam Das Thakur. But he's so pure, he's in the Paramahamsa stage. So it is not through scholarly, through intellect that one can understand the Bhagavad Gita. We need a little bit of faith. This faith, when it increases and increases, ultimately cleansing our hearts in such a way that ultimately we'll come to the advanced stage that will actually be able to study the Bhagavad Gita and understand the Bhagavad Gita. That's why the Bhagavad Gita is like that. There's not much lila here, isn't it? What is the lila here? Fighting? But Krishna's lila is absolute. The fighting, his fighting, and also the rasa dance is absolute. It's on the same platform. But here we're not told about how Krishna dances, or how Krishna played with the cowherd boys, or how Krishna is dealing with Mother Yasoda. Because this is the preliminary stage to understand Krishna. We have to know Krishna first in tattva. So how do we know his tattva? We have to understand him from his devotees. We have to hear. Association means sitting down and hearing from self-realized souls. Association means not enjoying that personality's presence. Oh, he's nice, he smile. He smiles very nice. I like him. That is not association. Association means hearing and trying to apply what you've heard from that self-realized soul. So it's here. When one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets a devotee's association, one actually begins to study and understand Bhagavad Gita. That is the process. Process is that one hears, it goes into the hearing capacity, to the ears, and it goes to the heart. It's not that one hears and then comes out here. It has to go to the heart. And then when it comes to the heart, it's going to come out again. You will repeat it to the mouth. You will tell others. You repeat the same thing. Mundane subject matter, you hear, comes out here. Spiritual subject matter, it comes here, it goes into the heart, it stays there. Churning it. You're churning it, churning and churning, cleansing. And when it's ready to come out, then when you speak, even for a short period of time, it has full effect to the heart of who's going to hear the same subject matter. It's not the same as, you've seen here also. It's not criticism, but you've seen so many pictures or, like advertisement of different katakars or, reciters of Bhagavatam, or they just want to enjoy, only enjoying, because they're very good, they're gifted, they have that Shakti to speak very nicely, but there's a vacuum, doesn't have any substance in it. There's sometimes you've seen even a young boy or young girl who will, advertise they can speak for a long time. It may have a little bit of an effect, but those speakers who have material desires, those who will hear, instead of purifying their hearts, they will increase their material desires accordingly to what they hear. It's covered though, because they hear nice, but because of the self-interest and motivations of the speaker, the vibration, that energy transfers to those who are listening, who are hearing the message. So it becomes sense enjoyment, sense gratification only, instead of purifying one's heart. Therefore, they're not be able to understand Bhagavad Gita or the subject matter as it is. Unlike us, hope against hope, because we're reading Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada, and those who are having faith in this will continue to increase their faith day by day, and therefore one day will come to the point that we will completely fall in love with Krishna. That day will come. Hopefully in this lifetime. But nevertheless, we already have love. That's why we continue doing this. If we don't have love, we will not go and sit down here and continue read the same. Oh, this is Bhagavad Gita. This is for the elementary students only. This is for the neophytes. I want to hear rasa, rasika, lila. No, because we have love. We have a little bit of love. We just need to continue fanning that spark of whatever love we have, and continue until one day we'll be able to go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. So we stop here. Any comments? Questions?